This time on Allies or Enemies, we are looking at Ark Nova. Designed by Mathias, Wigge, Ark Nova is a 1 to 4 player game that puts players in control of a conservation-focused zoo. The conservation part is important here, as there is zoological science all over this game. Players are building various size enclosures, housing animals, doing research, supporting conservation projects, and of course, scoring points. And they are doing it across a player board, a shared board, and a card tableau. The game does lend itself to some obvious comparisons, with a card system not unlike Terraforming Mars, and an action system much borrowed from Civilization and New Dawn. But don't be fooled. This conservation adventure is much more than the sum of its parts. But before we get into that sum, let's look at all the parts and how it plays.
While there is a lot on the table, Ark Nova is deceptively simple to follow. On your turn, you choose one of 5 action cards, which includes gaining animals, building enclosures, playing sponsor cards, using association workers, or getting more cards. The power of the actions changes based on the slot that they are in, and actions get more powerful if you upgrade. And that's pretty much the gist of the game, but the magic lies in how you make these actions work together. Building enclosures can gain you bonuses, housing animals will move you up the appeal track and help you fulfill conservation goals, association actions can make animals cheaper, increase hand size, or move your marker up the conservation track, sponsor actions grant you immediate, ongoing, or endgame bonuses, or just get you some quick cash, while gaining cards also speeds up the end of round timer. It's all one big action ecosystem. The last turn is triggered once a player's conservation and appeal trackers pass each other, then everyone scores endgame goals, and the one with the largest positive distance between their 2 markers wins the game.
There is a lot of everything in this box. First, there is a towering deck of animal, sponsor, and conservation project cards that will massively change your choices each game. Also, the randomly drawn base conservation project cards and final scoring cards will have a big impact on your direction. There are also 8 asymmetrical map boards that players can choose, each with slightly different layouts and special abilities, and this is to say nothing of the impact of the small choices you make each game, like which bonus tokens you take, or which cards you upgrade when, and in what order you take association tokens. Some games we are gathering birds and aviaries. Some games it's all big animals and big enclosures. Some games we have oodles of special enclosures. Others we have a nice little petting zoo. Even though at the end of the day you are gathering cards and filling maps, each game we have played has felt totally different.
It is worth repeating that you get a lot in this box. There are a lot of cards, a lot of maps, a lot of tokens, and a lot of enclosures, including cool specific enclosures. Also, the insert makes it all really easy to set up and sort, which is always appreciated. There's even a double-sided board to make it work for different player seating arrangements, and all of it does a terrific job of laying out how everything works. Between the card text and the icons, you will very rarely need to go back to the rulebook, which really helps to simplify all of these moving parts. We also really liked the animal photos on the cards and the look of the zoo board, but some will see it as a bit too Euro. The coins are not great, and in a year that also saw Cascadia and Meadow, Ark Nova does have a lot more beige in its animal habitats. Plus, it's hard to defend this beard or sideburns. But for our money, the functionality more than makes up for any beigey blandness.
The biggest complaint you may have heard about Ark Nova is that it can run long, and there is some truth there. While we find that a 2-player game runs less than 90 minutes, we are a bit more heads-down players than most, and that will go up by at least 45 minutes per player. So a full 4 players will run most of your evening. Otherwise, the game does scale well. The association board opens up to accommodate more players, and the market tends to move fairly quickly. with breaks moving cards early and snapping becoming more competitive later. There is also an option to wind up or down the interaction, as the occasional take that cards have alternate card abilities for people that want less meanness. At full take that, this could lead to a bit of a target the leader, but there is a built-in defense of taking quicker breaks to remove negative markers, and as the mean cards are fairly few, we don't see a huge danger. There is also a solo mode, which is a very simple kind of timer AI that challenges you to cross your markers in 6 rounds. We haven't tried it yet, but we have heard good things from those that have.
Ark Nova hits a real sweet spot for us. Jess has a zoology and conservation background, so she was already on board, but the gameplay is so smooth and intuitive that it's pretty easy to recommend this game to just about anyone, as long as you're okay with a long-ish game night or just playing with 2. Filling your zoo map feels satisfying. Seeing your association worker pool and economy grow is rewarding. Choosing your path is just the right amount of tricky, and there's an innate joy in housing a Malayan tapir or red panda or dusky leaf monkey. Come on, look at that dusky leaf monkey. This is also one of those systems that, although it has plenty of depth, is still going to be intuitive enough for most people that have a few midweight games under their belts. And the option to turn off the take that aspects increases that possible audience even further. This game gets our highest possible score of one adorable dusky leaf monkey. And that is it. Have you played Ark Nova? What other recent releases are you excited about? Let us know in the comments, and as always, please do like and subscribe, and hopefully we will see you all next time for another game.